Hello, hello, hello. Hi, you guys. How is everyone? Let me do a definite shout out to my early birds who are here cheering us on first thing this morning. Hello, Jennifer Fowler. We love that. I see that our friend Ernie has joined us. We're so happy, Ernie. Ernie travels a lot, so I always feel like we need a segment. Where in the world is Ernie DeVries? And Ernie is in South Dakota. Is that what you said, Ernie? Let us know. He is traveling around. He's at a Cabela's. He pulled off so he could join us for Live at the Loom. Now that's real dedication, my friends. Yes, Carla is here. Carla, we are so happy to help you last week. Yes, you are correct. It is a sweet, lovely, supportive community, and we're happy to have you as part of it. So, yay. Lori from the Netherlands is on. Carrie from Spain is here. We love that Anne is here from Cyprus. Hello, hello, hello. I'm so glad you guys are here. Today is a special one. Let me just tell you, because in a little bit, I'm going to bring on Michele Marshall, and we're going to get to meet her and see her studio space. So, yay. That's going to be so much fun, right? By the way, I totally got ahead of myself. Just in case we haven't met yet, my name is Chris Acton with Acting Creative, and this is Live at the Loom. Woo, we have a good time together, don't we? Every Thursday morning, well, it's morning here in Indiana, but every Thursday we get together for, what, we're stretching it out these days, 45-ish minutes. We get together and catch up on life and on our fiber projects and just whatever else we can come up with. So it's a wonderful community and everyone is invited. So if you have other friends that you think would enjoy this, bring them on over. The more, the merrier, I say. Oh, and our friend Ellen is on, and Laura, and hello, Nina, and Sherry is here, and Sam is here. Wow, you guys came out in force. I love that. That's amazing. Hello, Maureen. Hello, hello. So let me tell you about, look at my lovely accessory I got going on this morning. Look at this beautiful thing. Isn't that? The dermatologist decided well, she took a little memento about 3 weeks ago, and then she called me and said, we're going to take more. I'm like, oh, okay, good times. We have all kinds of, well, let's just say dermatologists love us. We are a good kind of Irish, English, European mutt, and talk about freckles and moles and all of the fascinating things. So dermatologists, I'm sure I walk in the door and she's like, and there is my summer house payment right there. So anyways, it is okay. It is not the first time this has happened, but we are extra cautious in our family just because we do have a little history of melanoma. So we are like clockwork. Go see the dermatologist. So anyway, so it's a little, I got like 5 little stitches. And what's so funny is that by the time I left yesterday, this whole thing was like from elbow to wrist. Like she had wrapped it. So, and it's like right here. It's like 5, like an inch, like, which is a little overkill, but that's okay. I would rather have them, go overboard than not. So it'll be all right. I'm just popping some Tylenol. We're all good here, but that is not going to stop us from having a wonderful, fabulous Live at the Loom. So tell me how you are. How are things shaking in your corner of the world? I was talking to Michele a moment ago. I was like, we have had so much rain here, like a lot, like every day, pretty much. And I haven't been able to get out and pick my tomatoes as much as I usually would. So hopefully those tomatoes are just trucking along, doing their thing in the rain. I know it's good for them. However, especially my little tiny ones, boy, they've exploded these days for sure. Jennifer Fowler, how is your garden going? I see Scott is on. Hello, Scott. Jody Ibarra is on. Woohoo! Yay! So let me know how your weeks have been. Tell me what is happening in your corner of the world. Hopefully no one else has any accessories like I do. Carrie says she needs the rain. Yes. The Carrie's in Spain, so she's the rain in Spain. I kind of love that. Olives are just, oh no. Ooh, I love some olives. Oh, sad. Please, everyone, protect the olives. That's that's all good. Yes. So yes, let me know what is happening on your end. Projects, life, whatever you want to share. I was so close. You guys. I worked on my rose path and I'm like, I'm going to get it done. It's been so many weeks and it's still not quite there. So it's a good thing we have Michele today so that I don't have to entertain you with some rose path again. So we'll knock it out. It's going to get done, but not by today. I missed this deadline. That's what happened. And sometimes that is life when you just you miss a deadline. Okay, we're adults. That's all right. Jennifer says she has harvested 3 grocery bags of herbs yesterday, making basil pesto today. Yum. Okay, that sounds amazing. That sounds, yes. Here's from Sam. My niece is visiting from Edmonton. I got her to throw a shuttle and play with the loom. I think she's hooked. That's awesome. If she takes after her aunt at all, we're not surprised. Lori says I carried out my oven microwave to the dump that I carried it. Oh, I didn't make it, huh? I decided to declutter my sewing stash of incomplete projects. So many alterations to do. Lori, that's a great goal for sure, because decluttering, I always feel better after I declutter. I don't do it as often as I feel like I should. However, it is a good, we're here to support you, my friend. By the way, how do you like the pink? Let's see, I'm going the wrong way. This way. How do you like, oh, I can't do it. It's the whole mirror thing. I can't, there we go. Do you see the pink over here with the name? Do you see that? I put it up just for the October Weave Along, since we're all going to be pink, which Jody made me think of, because she's getting ready for the October Weave Along. Aren't we all? I'm so excited. We're going to dive into that in just a moment. So put a pin in that, my friends. Ellen says she's finished weaving 3 Mobius shawls, ready for sewing. Next up, 4 runs of custom towels. Ooh, that sounds lovely. Ellen does amazing towels. I mean, Ellen does a lot of great things. However, towels are sweet. Hello, Sandra Parsons. Good morning from Albuquerque. Thought I got some rain. Yeah, thank you. Releasing baby birds from my aviary, all grown up. Okay, hold the phone, please. Sandra, you have an aviary? That is so cool. And you have baby birds? That is amazing. Is it like do you take them in when they're like injured and then nurse them back to health? What? Okay, we need information, Sandra. I don't know anybody who has an aviary. That is so cool. That is so cool. Hello, Lillian. She's in Connecticut. I think we talked about this, Lillian. I have friends in Connecticut, in Guilford. It's a great town. The weather here has been sunny and cool, very fall-like. Searching through my stash and deciding what to use for the October Weave Along. Woohoo! We love that. That is for sure. It's always fun to hear what is happening with you on your looms. Just life, all of the good things. Yeah. Lori says she is threaded for Rose Path. Awesome. That's what catches you up to do. I so want to do the Weave Along. Yes. Lori, here's okay, we'll talk about the Weave Along. We'll just dive right into the Weave Along, shall we? So this has been the big push, the big kickoff has been all of this week. So I'm sure you've heard a little bit about the October Weave Along, but just in case you haven't, here at Acting Creative, I host 2 Weave Alongs each year, one in April and one in October. And a Weave Along is a month-long weaving adventure with just 2 guidelines. We all start and finish a project in the month of October, and we all do the same pattern, which this time around is shadow weave, which is very exciting. Shadow weave is, I find it to be, well, it's a very new kind of design, and a little bit mysterious, which I kind of like that. It's been very fun to get to know shadow weave. So there's a couple things I wanted to mention to all of you lovely people. First of all, we had the official kickoff a couple days ago on Monday, and at that point I announced the pattern, so you all know it's shadow weave, and I announced that the materials kits you can buy from Cotton Clouds. That was Jody was saying she's ready, she's geared up, which we're so glad, because that's a lot. So you can buy the materials kit at Cotton Clouds, and you can get the instructions from me. I have instructions for a 4-shaft loom and a rigid heddle, which is where our guest Michele will come in to help with all of that. However, what I wanted to point out was a couple things for us is that there is a Facebook group that goes with the whole month-long weaving adventure, and the doors will open next Monday on the 25th. And you can come in. I intentionally do that. I open the doors a week early so we can kind of get in and get settled, get the wiggles out. And then by the time October 1st comes, we're ready to actually start our projects for the month of October. So I had someone ask, listen to me, words are hard. I had someone ask about registration, and to participate in the Weave Along is completely free. There is no fees to participate. There's none of that. To join the Facebook group, there's no fees. You could do it. You could always do the October weave along on your own. You can self-paced. I'll give you little clues each week how to start and finish your project in the month. So there's no actual fees involved in it. However, if you want to go with the kit that we created, you're absolutely welcome to. There's and then you can buy them separately too. So if you just want the instructions because you already have yarn, great. If you just like the yarn but you want to create your own pattern, you want to do your own modified shadow weave, Godspeed. You do what you want. That is awesome. Let's see. Carrie says, does it take a whole month to complete? I don't think I can weave that slow. Oh, look how sweet you are. Oh, my friend Carrie, that's a great question. Okay, so I love that you asked this. Does it take a whole month? Well, I planned a whole month thinking that would be a nice amount of time because there'll be some very committed, quick little weavers like you, my friend Carrie, who might get it done very quickly. Look at this. Sam jumps in and says, you and me both. Sam will have it done in like 4 days. The two of you, you can totally, you do not have to go as slow as the group. Absolutely not. If I have a hunch, if both of you have it done like by tomorrow, I won't be surprised. However, there are times, life gets in the way, and to do a project from start to finish in a month, I think feels like a reasonable amount of time, because there are going to be those that come in, week 2, right in the middle, whatever. If you're just starting out, it could be a big learning curve, which, speaking of that, I had someone else ask this week, which is a great question, is that she's like, I am just starting out. I haven't even done a twill project yet. Is this going to be like way beyond me? And that's not a real straightforward answer, but here's what I will say. As a teacher, I would not go from doing plain weave to shadow weave. I wouldn't recommend that big jump. However, I have met beginners that are like, I don't know, I'm going to do it all. And I'm like, great, you boldly dive in and do the project. That is fantastic. Now, because shadow weave has a few more moving parts, I intentionally made the instructions very kind of like I backtracked them a lot, so that if you're just starting out, you can really, I'm like, here's the definition of this, here's what I'm talking about. Especially if you get the video tips, there are a lot of kind of helpful reminders and places where I explain it. I tried to explain it a little slower than usual, so that if you're just starting out, if you've only done a twill project so far, that you can kind of follow along as best you can. Now, if you are like, okay, I don't think I'm up for this yet, no worries. Here's my suggestion. Please join the Facebook group, because the knowledge that people throw around in the Facebook group is so impressive. And I promise you will learn so much in the Facebook group. So if you're just starting out and you want to try it, please dive in. We're all going to do it together. We will help you through it. Yeah. However you're feeling, you know yourself better than any of us. So even though if I was doing a curriculum, I wouldn't go from 0 to shadow weave, because there's just a lot of moving parts. None of the moving parts are hard, my friends, but you, at the very least, please join the group, because the group is amazing. Okay. I know a lot of you who are on right now have been part of the group. Give me a couple things that you've learned from the group in the past, or your experience, for anyone who's new, for anyone who's kind of like testing it out, dipping their toe in to be like, I don't know. Yeah. So let me know how that has been for you, because it's I find the Facebook group to be, that's really where the magic happens. I mean, of course, there are lots that you get to see their projects, you get to hear what people are working on, all that kind of good stuff. However, there's a certain kind of mystical something that happens when you virtually put all kinds of weavers and fiber lovers in a group together. So let me know, for my friends who are on, who have done it before, let me know what's been your experience doing the weave along. And yeah, thank you. Jody jumped in and said she always gets suggestions for the future. Yeah, absolutely, Jody. That's a great response. Yeah, because what's so fun is that people share all kinds of things. So you pick up all kinds of ideas. Oh, sorry. Ellen says, great way to learn how to manage 2 shuttles. Yes, absolutely. Yes, absolutely. How do you pronounce it? Is it Utam? good evening. It's good morning here to you. Thank you. Glad you're here. So yeah, give me your 2 cents. What, for anyone who hasn't done a weave along, do you have suggestions? Do you have ideas? What would you share with someone who was debating whether to dive in? Lillian says, a question. In Ann Dixon's book, there's a section called syncopated threading. Okay. And looking at the drafts, they appear to be what some of us call shadow weave. Oh, Lillian, I am not sure. That's a great question. I don't know the answer off the top of my head. That's so funny. I'll have to look at that. Is anyone familiar with that idea of syncopated threading? Dive in. See, there's so many smart people here. Okay, so Sam says the Facebook group is great because we can show a picture of the problem we're having and everyone helps out. They've all been there, done that, and really help out. Thank you, Sam. That is a wonderful summary. I love that. That's a perfect way to describe the group for sure, because I think what's so fun, to Sam's point, is that you get people in the group you have some that are real beginners, but you have some like Ellen, who's woven thousands and thousands and thousands of projects and has this great wealth of knowledge and can share that with everyone and give some great suggestions to help everyone out. I love that. That is awesome. All right. Well, you guys chime in if you have other thoughts on our lovely upcoming weave along. But I think just to give ourselves plenty of time, we should go ahead and bring Michele in. I'm going to take a swig. Everyone hydrate, please. And then here's what I'm thinking. We're still getting used to the technology, so bear with us. I'm like clicking all the buttons to make sure we can do this right. But here we go. I think everyone welcome Michele. There she is.
Here I am.
Here she is. Look at this. Okay, now here. I see, I'm trying all the technology. Look at that. See? Dun da da da. Everyone, this is Michele. Michele, this is everyone. We're so glad you're here for sure.
I think I've met a few of you in the previous weave alongs, because I'm the one who came in with the rigid heddle and said, "Can I play?"
Yeah,
and
right.
Everybody said,
"We love that.
Sure, you can play.
Yeah,
go right ahead." And I think nobody knew what I was going to do, right?
But that's perfect, because you're not the only one. We have, this
right.
Kind of growing community of people that are all working on rigid heddle looms, which I think is fantastic. A rigid heddle loom is such a great kind of entry point into the world of weaving.
Oh yeah.
I just love that. Yeah. So how many weave alongs have you done now, Michele? Is this
just the last two?
The last two. Okay, fantastic. Yeah,
because I didn't find out about you or anything about you until like a year ago, September, when I was at 3 Moons on September or August 31st, like I always am.
Oh, perfect. So right. Was that waffle weave?
I did waffle weave, and then I did herringbone.
Okay, excellent. Yeah. I love that. Okay, so for you guys who may not have caught it yet, then I specifically asked Michele this time around to make instructions for the rigid heddle. So she is the author of the amazing instructions for the rigid heddle version of the project, which is awesome. Thank you so much for doing that.
Oh, it was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Especially when we settle on our pattern.
Right. Exactly. I know it took us a little bit. We had to kick that around for sure.
Exactly.
Okay, so Michele, give us a little background. How did you get into weaving? Because as we know, it's not the most common craft to dive into. So how did that happen for you?
Well, I thought spinning was the least common craft until I joined the weaving community. And then I realized, oh, wow, okay, there's even fewer of us in this room. So yeah, I'm kind of like that meme that's been going around that says, fiber arts is a lie. They teach you to knit, and the next thing you know, you've got to herd a sheep and you're spinning wool and you're doing all the things. Yes. That's been going around. It's kind of wordy and it's a little goofy, but yeah, long story short, I started with crochet when I was 5, and knitting, spinning, weaving, it all just kind of came into the eventual pile. So
yeah.
Oh, with a side trip to many years of cross stitch and embroidery. So
ooh, I love some cross stitch. I can't bear to, I have a whole stack of books. I can't bear to donate them, even though I haven't done it in years. I'm like, no, I'm going to come back. I love cross stitch. That's amazing.
I'm actually tapping that cross stitch now. I've got some books over here that I kept, and I'm like, if I rotate these and played with them, they could become ankle bands. So I'm doing Baltic pickup with cross stitch charts now. Yeah, because I don't have enough to do. So.
Okay. okay. You guys have just met Michelle, but if you know her at all, you know that she's always busy. So that is
The understatement. Yeah.
yeah,
So
right? Exactly. Okay, so how did you start with rigid heddle then? I mean, as you came into weaving, what was the connection to start there?
Um, I think it was because had knit for about 10 years. And
Okay.
I just had this massive stash of knitting yarns, and everybody's like, "Oh, well, you can weave with knitting yarns on a rigid heddle." I'm like, that may be the solution to my ever-growing problem, right? So, in 2020, I guess I reread Circe, the book by Madeline Miller, and there's just so much weaving, and somehow that trip through the book, I'm like, I really need to learn to do this. So,
Nice.
so insert rigid heddle loom here one, and I did that for a while, and then this year I added 2 more to the herd. So
I love that. I
yeah,
love that
yeah,
because that is how it happens, right? It's kind of a
yeah.
snowball.
They multiply, yeah,
Yeah,
and they bring
yeah.
them
While
back,
you're not looking, yeah.
something like that. Or they fall in your lap like my last one, so which was really nice. So it was a very local, like across the street de-stash kind of situation. And I
Nice.
was like, I don't know that I need another one, but a little voice in my head said, "You're going to kick yourself if you don't get this loom." So
Right. Yeah,
yeah.
absolutely. Okay, so what do you have like a do you have certain things that you love to play with? Is there certain styles, certain items?
Wow.
What's kind of your style? Is it just everything? Because I know you can do it all. I know
I
that.
well, I like to stretch myself with ideas. I like to stretch myself with new techniques, or obviously with what we're doing with the shadow weave. 4 shafts on a rigid heddle is sort of like my strong suit. But my latest obsession right now is crook broad. So if you've not
Ooh,
done crook broad, it's a point twill threading, and it's a weft face weave. So
nice.
I've just finished like the first sampler. I've got the second one on the loom. I've got a third one charted and a fourth one in the back of the head. So those kind of things. Sort of like I get a little obsessive and like ruts like that.
Yeah. Right?
So
Understandable.
yeah.
Yes. Okay, so crook broad is like it's the finished product is pretty thick though. So what do you do with that?
Yes.
What's that? How do you?
Um, the
Yeah.
most recent one is a wall hanging. So,
Oh, beautiful.
I'll show it to you in a minute.
Okay.
Can you see it behind me? No. Okay. Not sure where the camera is with the,
Yeah.
yeah, no, it's there. It's
Right
getting
behind
blown
your
out from
head,
the
I
light.
think. That's all right. When we tour,
Something. Yeah.
yeah.
So anyway, and then, so I put on a work for this particular project I've got going now for what's probably going to be about the same length piece, but
Okay.
it's a 60-inch warp with the hope that I'm going to be able to sample for a rug. So I have
Oh, great.
an idea of doing a washable crook broad rug, which means it's not going to be all wool. So we'll see.
Oh.
So
Okay, so will you use like a washable wool for that, or
I'm
how do you make
looking
it washable?
I'm looking at cotton fleece from Brown Sheep. It's a 80-20. It's 80% cotton, 20% wool. So I've used it for kids things before, and it washes nicely. I've used it for wash rags, but it keeps its structure better with that little bit of wool. So I'm going to test that. If that doesn't work, we'll find something else.
Yeah,
So
yeah, that's
anyway,
awesome. Yeah.
because if
Well,
a
and
rug can't be washed in this house, it's not worth having around here.
right.
So,
Yes. Well, and just so people know, Michelle is also a Hoosier. She lives in Indiana.
yep.
Kind of. Are you 5 hours from me? I'm at the very top, and you're kind of
About
south
2/3 of the way
central,
down the
kind of.
state. Yeah. We're about
Yeah.
5, yeah, maybe 4 to 5 hours. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. She's
So
in the much hillier area of. It's beautiful. You're in Nashville, right?
yeah, right,
Yeah,
right.
yeah, yeah.
So
That's
yeah, Nashville's like it's in the southwestern part of the state where the glaciers didn't flatten everything. So I mean, and Lily, that is the truth. The glacier stopped, and they left all this rubble, and then they left all the land stuff that was here. So yeah, we have
right,
like lots of nice hills and
right.
lots of clay soil. So there's a lot of local potters.
Yeah. Well, and I know about it because you're not too far from Bloomington, and that's where I went to college.
20
Was
minutes.
it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Was at Indiana University. Go Hoosiers! So
Yeah.
it's so fun then to have that kind of connection. But yes, if you ever come and have a chance to visit Nashville, it's a gorgeous part of Indiana. A lot of
Yeah.
Indiana is like as flat as your dining room table. However, there's a whole kind of once you get south of Indianapolis, it's much hillier and there's a lot more trees and it's beautiful. So it's
Yeah.
yeah.
We're coming into season now. So we're probably about 2.5 weeks out from foliage. And I mean, the trees are starting to turn. Peak foliage will probably be around the first, second week of October this year.
Yeah.
So, and
Love
and
that.
then we have the leaf peepers and the tourists and the
Yeah.
crazy hours in the shops. Everybody's open all the time, kind of thing. So it'll be
Just take
nice.
advantage of all the tourism.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
So
for sure. For
it's our
sure.
bread and
Well,
butter.
yeah, right. I believe it. Well, I say we just dive in. Can you show us
Okay.
around? Here, let me. I'm gonna see if I can see if I remember how to do this. I'm gonna take my see, technology. We're learning all of the technology. Okay, so let's see. I think solo layout. Here we go. So you can see
Okay.
all. There we go.
And I'm flipping cameras now.
Moving
So that
cameras,
I can
right?
walk
Ooh,
and talk.
look
So
at this
quick pano,
space.
and then we can. Yeah. So this was the former bedroom of my daughter. We had one child. We have a 2-bedroom house. So this is what I got when I. But weird things like like the little
Love it.
chandelier in the corner are left over from the 17-year-old's bedroom, right?
I
So
like it.
anyway, so and it's much neater than it normally is. I am
Yeah,
a chaotic
I understand.
worker. So and behind me the bookcase, which is not all knit weaving books. It's actually all the crafting books in the house fit in this, plus my notes and stuff are on the bottom shelf.
Nice. Very
Yeah.
nice.
And that cute little I love this thing up here, the little ironing board. That's like I think it's
Is that what that is?
yes, it's I'll step back a little bit. Yeah. I found that in my
Adorable.
dad's stuff when we cleaned out their house. And I think it was a child's ironing board, like a kid's toy or something, because it's 18 inches tall.
Yeah.
So anyway,
That's
I keep
awesome.
thinking I'll use it for yeah, I threw my hand wovens around just for kicks and giggles because
Okay,
I don't
good. Yes.
sell or do anything. So
Yeah.
this
Can
is
you bring
Steve's
us in
chair.
closer to see that one? The teal one right there?
Yeah. So this is a
Ooh.
literally mixed warp. I think there's nylon, there's wool, there's cotton, there's everything else. And then the weft was what was the weft? Maybe a 6'2".
Okay.
So and
Beautiful.
I pull this out when everybody's like, oh, you can't mix wool with cotton. And I'm like, well, yeah, you can. You can't
Like,
throw
sure
it in
you
a
can.
washer.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I'm like, I mixed wool, cotton, silk, tinsel. I think there's a little bit of everything in this. So
Nice.
and I love aquas. I'm an Aquarian. So
Oh, awesome. Yes. Yeah, it's beautiful. The colors are great.
yeah, so this is the study that my husband calls a study. So he shares the space with me. So like
Okay.
that's his corner.
Oh, excellent.
And
Very
that's
good.
his chair. And then that's his part of the room. The rest of it's mine. So
very good. That seems like the right proportions, Michelle.
yeah. So anyway, the 2 cabinets there just hold quilting stuff. Oh, and the afternoon snack for my husband there, his chocolate. My chocolate, our chocolate. Let's see. Oh, so he was really kind of like giving me the history on this desk this morning in case I mention it. So I'll mention it because it's kind of interesting. This was his grandfather was a newspaper editor. So the burn marks are his.
Oh, I love that though.
And it belonged to his grandmother, who was born in 1988, and she was the granddaughter of Abraham Owen Smoot, who was one of the bigwigs in the Mormon church back in Utah and in the day. So
oh wow,
there's like this long history with the family and the tie and the table and all that. So
how cool.
Yeah. And I'm the one
That's
who's
beautiful.
probably sat at this desk more and written than he has, but that's okay. So anyway,
it's beautiful.
Yeah.
Ooh.
So this was a gist kit, but this was just a table runner that I just loved. It's log cabin. Speaking of shadow weave, but
Yeah.
I love the way that they manipulated the yarns so that you kind of got this fading effect. Was really kind of cool.
Yeah,
so,
that's awesome to kind of play with color. That's awesome.
Yeah, and then a little bit of band weaving over there. So
nice.
So this is the kind of thing where I was using cross stitch charts. This is Baltic pickup. And
okay.
So you pick up the pattern threads and they create little warp floats in the weave. Because, of course, Inkle is all warp faced.
Right.
So
right.
Anyway,
Beautiful.
so I've used charts from Myra Wood's Crazy Shot, and I've used charts from Cross Stitch, and I used charts that I made up, and I just made a band. It's going to go in a bag when I get around to making the bag.
Nice. So, I love that.
My first loom. So this loom has a name. Her name's Bodicia.
What is it?
Bodicia or
Bodicia.
I don't know how people say it in real life. I've heard it pronounced multiple ways. She was like a Celtic warrior queen, sort of. Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah. So I named my early tools, and I got too many to name them. I'll be honest with you. So, and this is the pattern I was telling you about yesterday. So this is It's a rigid held pattern by Tammy Bass called Bumbarette Inspired. And when you saw the Bumbarette link I sent you, this looks like Bumbarette. So now I get it.
Yeah,
So, and the work is
absolutely.
just stunning. This is a kit, by the way, from Jody at Cotton Clouds.
Oh,
So she
love
has
that.
it
Shout
kitted
out
up.
to Jody.
Shout out to Jody. Yep. She and Tammy put together some fantastic colors for this.
Nice. By the way,
And
just to interject for just a moment, we had a whole discussion, Michelle and I, about Bumbarette yesterday, and I had never heard of it. And so Handwoven Magazine, I think it was Madeline, came on and explained Bumbarette, and there's like two other ones she grouped together. Do you remember what those were, Michelle?
Bumbarette, Velverette, and Thickset, I think, is the last one. Velverette's the one I remember because I thought it'd be a great name for a pet.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Yes. It's really interesting. Now, Laura chimed in and asked how wide that loom is for you.
That's a 24-inch. So it weaves at about 23 and 5/8 maybe.
Okay.
And that's fully warped. That's a bit of a wide. Tammy likes her wide towels. I do too. So
nice.
Yeah, that's a 24-inch.
Is that what's on there now? What project is on there?
Yeah, that's the full width of it. So that's the Bumbarette pattern. So it weaves up at the. I mean, actually, I think I had to leave off one repeat of color on the end because I would have had to start with my first thread in the outside slot to make it fit.
Oh, so, got it. Okay.
She's obviously using a 24-inch loom that's not an Ashford, maybe.
Right. A little different style.
So,
yeah.
But I'm happy with how it looks. So, yeah. Let's see. Spinning wheel, my baby. Ooh. Yeah. So this is a handcrafted spinning wheel by an artist from Berea, Kentucky.
Oh, yeah. I know Berea.
Yeah. Michael Wilson. He is no longer with us. He's been deceased for many years. But I got this in one of those, like, I sometimes work at a yarn shop here in town. We actually have a yarn shop, a quilt store, a scrapbooking store, and two like spice and vinegar olive oil places. Ooh, so right. I never want to leave this town.
Right.
Because it has all the things.
It's like fiber nirvana right here.
It's like crafters nirvana, right? So yeah. I sometimes work at the yarn shop, and it was one of those phone calls where, hey, I have to move to England. I need to get rid of some weaving and spinning stuff. Can you help me? And so we went over there, and this was there was a CPW. There were a couple of Ashford wheels. She was keeping one of those spinning wheels. I don't know what kind of weaving supplies there were, but I know there were some. I wasn't weaving then. And yeah, so I brought this baby home. So it's handcrafted, and it's actually numbered on the bottom. I think it was number 378 or something.
Wow.
And it's dated October of 1984.
What?
So yeah, yeah.
You know what? It has that real kind of traditional, I think of like Rumpelstiltskin kind of look to it.
Well,
like it has that really beautiful look.
It does, and that's because it's actually a Scandinavian style loom. So it's a double table. They call it double table when it's got the bottom part, and then the second piece is called a second table, and it's a Scandinavian style. And apparently he was known for making wheels like this. It's walnut and maple, so there are like maple insets on the edges of the wheel. Ooh. And it's got a fantastic weight to it. For me, it spins the perfect yarn, but yeah. You know, it might be a little fine for some people, and I've just got something on there I was playing with. I'm looking to do some textured stuff.
Ooh, so pretty.
Anyway, but that's
beautiful.
I keep it dusted. Piece. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
Warping area over here, and the chests have all kinds of my inkle looms on top.
Nice.
And a collection of spindles and stuff. So yeah, I keep tools and supplies in those drawers.
Yeah. Now for your inkle loom, Michelle, how long of a band can you make on that?
Wow, that's a really good question, and I can't tell you right now. It's the full size inkle, but not the extra large. It's an Ashford as well.
Okay.
I want to say it'll do
no test.
I've forgotten how long it'll actually do. I've never actually done a full length one on it. I've usually gone, okay, I need this much for this project. I'm going to warp it long enough to make sure I have that, and then I let it go. So I don't really pay attention to how big I could actually make it. Awesome. Yeah. So heddle storage under here. So the little box is my 10-inch samplet heddles. The bigger container is my 16 and my 24. So the containers are kind of fun. The bottom one here, this is a hammered copper over, I think it's walnut. It's an umbrella stand that my grandmother made.
What? Did you say she made it?
She made, I think my dad made the wooden frame for her, and then she covered it and hammered the copper.
What? So that's so cool.
On one side of it, it's got my dad's initials.
Oh, I
So,
love that kind of family connection.
and those are Lily's. Her name was Lillian. So she's got her marker on it there, so to speak. And then this little box is
Wow.
another one I pulled out of my dad's stash. It's a Bon Ami shipping container, probably like from, like the 40s.
Yeah.
And Bon
Oh,
Ami,
cool.
their little thing was has ain't scratched yet or something, was their like, or hasn't scratched yet. I forget. That was their logo. So the little chicks.
I
So
love
I
it.
like to repurpose things like that. Oh, the quilting rulers back there in an old scrapbook piece too.
Nice.
And then this was my mom's favorite sewing machine. It's a Necki Supernova, circa 1956, I think.
Oh,
Um,
wow.
and it works. In fact, this is the machine that if I do any zigzagging or anything on my weaving, this is the machine I use.
And
So
it's built into the desk. Is that like it's all
it's
one piece, or can you lift it out?
it can be removed. Yeah, the desk actually was not my mom. She had a desk for it, and it didn't really support it well enough for my taste.
Yeah.
So this was actually also fortunate in this world. We have a couple here in our county who actually buy and refurbish vintage sewing machines.
Oh, how
So
great.
I pulled this. Okay, so the sewing machine was not working correctly for my mother back in the 80s, and she couldn't get it worked on. So she took it to someplace. They said, well, we can't fix this anymore. It's too old, whatever. So she put it in
Oh.
storage. And my dad ended up sticking it up in the top level of a car barn.
Oh,
And
wow.
I told the guys when we were cleaning out, I said, hey, I want to find this Necki sewing machine. So they're like, okay. And there's literally, so my dad was a hoarder. I mean, like, true. We aren't talking like he wasn't quite the level of the TV show, but when you're shoveling out the attic because the squirrels and everything else have just destroyed everything, this went down a set of attic stairs.
What?
And yeah, it tumbled all the way down. And then one of the guys went, oh, wait. I think that's what Michelle was looking for. And fortunately, they found the box. There's actually like cams that go inside it that you stack to make the stitches.
Yeah.
So you don't need it for basic things like zigzag and all that. They found the box with the cams, and I have like 98% of the cams. I'm missing like 2. So
Wow, amazing.
anyway, so I got all the parts, and then this local guy fixed it up, and then he basically threw in the table because he has these tables from all these rescues.
Sure.
So yeah, so that's
How
that.
cool.
And then this is where I work. There's my 10-inch loom and stuff I make.
Nice.
So I like scarves. I like to wear scarves. So my
Okay.
latest thing has been to play with palindrome warps, where you
Okay. And what is that?
a palindrome. Well, it's a palindrome skein of yarn, is what it is. Sock yarns, they dye them where like the color repeats. Like this one's like purple, gray, teal, gray, purple. So
Okay.
it basically repeats in a cycle like that, and then you can mix a warp that lines it up so that all the colors kind of play together.
Ooh. Okay. So, but a palindrome is usually refers to like words, correct?
Right. So it's the same idea. It's like the palindrome word, in that like wow or level, the colors are the same in
It's
the
the
same
same from
kind
the
of
beginning. If you
repetitive.
start at the beginning, you start at the end.
Right, exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
Gotcha.
So I don't actually do this the way they talk about in the magazines. And this one was woven with a cotton too. This is cotton boucle, I think,
Ooh, nice.
because it's textural. So, which makes it a little slubby looking, which adds to kind of the mysterious nature of the grays. So,
Absolutely.
yeah, the books tell you to work with a multiple of the palindrome, but these are 60-inch skeins.
Oh.
So 120-inch scarf isn't really practical. So I end up either cutting and playing with it that way, or I end up just doing it like a 1.5 and having one end be one color and one end be the other color, which is what I've done with this one.
Nice.
So one end is sort of gray and the other end is sort of blue.
Yeah.
So
beautiful. It's beautiful.
Hand spun log cabin. Speaking of shadow weave.
Yeah.
So this was a gradient hand spun. So it kind of came out a little bit more green at the end than I expected.
Ooh.
But I love all the aquas and blues.
Yeah.
Another palindrome skein that I did not play with the colors, but it'll stripe if you don't do anything to it.
Gotcha.
So this was a normal length scarf, and I just threw it on there, and it made these lovely lengthwise stripes. So rather than ruin that, I used a 22 silk for the weft, and I beaded the silk. I don't know if it shows up. You can kind of see.
Yeah.
So I just randomly beaded the silk and then used it as a weft.
Beads, is that what you mean by beaded?
Yeah, I strung the beads on before I started weaving.
Yeah.
And then use that in the warps. Yeah, and there's two colors. So some of them are dark magenta or purpley, like the plum,
Uh-huh.
and then some are kind of a white with a silver lining. Yeah,
Nice.
once upon a time I did beading too, so I have a fair supply of that as well. So, and then
I
this
love it.
summer I took up tapestry. So welcome to my. I have others, but
Ooh,
these are the ones I got out. So,
beautiful.
yeah. So I was having
Would
fun
you
with that.
do
I've been taking.
tapestry on one of your original head looms, or do you have a
Oh
tapestry
no,
loom?
I have two tapestry looms too.
We love that.
So, I got. The only thing I don't have in here is a floor loom. So, and then just some towels.
Yeah.
Probably chosen because y'all recognize like this is overshot. This
Nice.
is from the herringbone weave along.
Oh yes, I remember that.
This is another kit that came from Jody. Actually, come to think of it, this is the Geese Bend towels. They were in a
Ooh,
hand woven a few years ago. There's a set of 4. I only did 2.
nice. Thank you, Jody.
Yeah, this I think might be. Is this? Yeah, this is a Kelly Casanova.
Okay.
Diamond striped scarf. This is a hand woven with an inlay. Maybe
Pretty.
where I got the idea. And then I think we all know what these are, right?
We know what those are. Dun, 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 dun. October Weave Along project. Woohoo!
Yeah.
Beautiful though. I love your collection of pieces there.
Well, I tried to be representative of some of the things I like the best. So this is the most latest palindrome scarf. So you can't really see too much. And I actually ran out of the palindrome yarn.
Uh-oh.
So that's why this one yellow random stripe. The other yellow stripe is going to be at the other end of the towel or the other end of the scarf. So
nice. I like the random yellow stripe though.
And I'm using a peacock bamboo 7, I think, or bamboo 12. I don't remember which color. I think it's 7 for the weft. So, or for the weft, yeah. So
nice.
That's what I work on when I'm too tired to do anything else because this is brainless. You're a shuttle. And then here's the beginning of the crook broad, the new crook broad.
Pretty.
Yeah. So I don't think crook broad usually you get like a lot of visual combining because the structure is all weft face. But this is certainly, I'm getting in my own light now, aren't I? This is certainly kind of, it's the same gray in the background, but it looks like it's changing. And I'm like,
fascinating.
But they always tell you won't get that effect in crook broad, but you do. So you can, apparently. Beautiful. So yeah, this is going to be mostly teals and silvers and grays with some red pops and some green pops. Mm-hmm. So, crook broad. While we're at it, here's the one I finished.
Ooh.
This summer, I guess. So yeah.
And that looks, when I think of kind of traditional crook broad, that's really the kind of style that I think of. Yeah, beautiful.
Yeah. So it's, and it's pretty chunky. I mean, it's not like, I wouldn't wear it as a scarf. It would probably work as like a cushion cover.
Yeah. That's a great idea.
If you were going to like pad a bench that wasn't going to be used every day, like I wouldn't put it on your piano bench if you're going to practice every day.
Right.
But if it's a piano bench that you just have kind of sitting in your room and it gets set on occasionally, you could do that. So, but anyway, so I'm just in love with the structure and playing with it and what you can do. And so, yeah.
Beautiful. So, what a great space, Michele.
It is a good space. And then a lot of the storage is over here. This is the closest thing to IKEA I have, which is a bookcase that I bought at Target for my kid. Awesome. I just, most of my 8-2s in there and cotton clods on one side. Well, actually they're all mixed together now because I'll use different colors depending on, if I want that green or that green, right?
Sure.
I'm picking and choosing. So, and there's my other tapestry loom, which is a pipe loom. So made out of pipe.
Very cool.
And then the storage closet is a little terrifying because it's actually like, Christmas storage up here for the upstairs. The back wall is the stuff my daughter left behind. But this is the tower of inspiration right now. So these are the yarns that are looking for a project. And the ones I'm most focused on right now are all these beautiful silks. This is a hand spun silk tencel.
Oh, wow.
I got this when I was with you in 3 Moons a couple weeks ago. 3
Moons. Nice.
Yeah. So these are kind of looking at me going, what do you want to do? And I'm like, I don't know, but we need to do something. So, and then I store other stuff over here. I mean, there's bins. That's fiber. Yeah. This is 8-2, 8-4, all, or not 8-2, it's 8-4 and all the neutral colors and leftovers. And then cones, because these big cones for me don't fit any place.
No, so, I feel your pain. Yes, absolutely. They fit perfectly there.
Well, they do. And then I've got all these cones of linen and I'm still like trying to figure out like exactly what I want to do with them. I love the colors.
Yeah.
I hate working with linen. So
I understand that. Yeah.
I'm having a moment. So yeah, there's just way too many yarns. All the specialty stuff's down there. That's literally like leftovers. So whatever. I mean, it's just all the things that can go in the closet. And
I
then
think
there's
that's
one more.
amazing though.
Yeah, well, it's tightly packed in here, but at least it's the biggest closet in the house, and it's mine, right? So
Yeah.
yay.
Yay. Right. Exactly.
Oh,
That's
my
exactly right.
Ashford Joy's in here too. It's in its bag because it's been traveling lately. So
Nice.
that's a fold up loom or fold up. I'm sorry, fold up wheel.
A
So
wheel.
it actually,
Sure.
yeah. So I carry it to like midnight and stuff like that when I want to do spinning out in public. It's a good one to take out. So,
Yeah.
and then
Amazing.
we have the I'll show the Foot Locker because I
You'll show the
told
Foot
you about
Locker.
it.
Excellent.
Yeah, the Foot
I love
Locker.
your Tower of Inspiration. That was brilliant. But
The
it there's
Tower of
but wait,
Inspiration,
there's
and
more.
then the inspiration walls over here too behind the desk. Those are just pictures of things that I just like and want to kind of work with.
Yeah.
So,
I think that's so smart though.
and then the Foot Locker of yarn because there's not enough storage in that other space for all of the finger. This is why I started weaving,
I love it.
because this has probably 100 skeins of
Easy.
fingering
Yeah.
weight yarn in it. So some of it's hand spun, but most of it's not. And this was actually this Foot Locker has been with me for my entire married life, which we're now looking at 34 years. This was my dad's Foot Locker he took to the National Guard.
Oh, it's beautiful.
So hence why it's a little rustic, but he helped me refurnish it and do all the stuff on it. So, and we've carried it around every move, and it always sits at the foot of our bed. But I'm happy now. And then it's kind of lined with cedar. He designed it that way, and he put a little extra in the bottom when I took it. So I keep all the yarn in here, or all the other
That's
yarn.
amazing. Well, I love that you have sock yarn in the Foot Locker. That's brilliant. That's brilliant. Yep.
Well, it's also just convenient. The rest of my yarn that I have to weave with is like knitting yarns are in this bin under the table.
Yeah.
So, and then there's some quilting stuff over there, but this is the space.
It's amazing. It's amazing.
So, yep.
Very, very cool. I love that.
And it's not like a lot, but it's enough.
Are you kidding? I had who is it? Lori piped in and said, "You're ready for the yarn apocalypse. That you're ready.
I am ready for the yarn apocalypse." Steve has often said, if the world breaks down, I can at least rescue us from being cold. In more ways than one, because I can either make it, or I can spin it, or I can spin it and weave it, or I can just take what we have and wrap you up in it.
Right? Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But I love that first of all, that it's just a bedroom you converted, whatever, but that you have all these pieces that you use for storage from family, and I think those connections are really special, much more special than just the IKEA shelves. Like, I mean, I think that really that kind of connection, that's so much of what weaving's about, is that kind of connection to family and history and all that kind of stuff. I think that's lovely.
I like it. And the chest that I mentioned, the cherry wood chest, those were all pieces that my dad bought. Actually, speaking of the Hoosier connection, there's a beautiful woodworking shop in Homer, Indiana. Now Homer is on the way to nowhere.
Right. Yes.
It's between. Yeah, it's on the way to nowhere.
Yeah. I understand that. Yes, we have a lot of those.
It's a beautiful place, though. They do beautiful work, and it's all handcrafted. So my dad bought this stuff when I was a kid, and I had pieces of it, and I outgrew the lingerie chest, hence why it's used for storage.
Yeah.
Because awesome. I can't even fit all my knitted stuff into that.
Right. You've outgrown it. That's a good thing. That's a good thing. See how you're morphing into all these other things. I think that's awesome.
Oh yeah.
Well, let's make sure that people know how to find you. Let me go back to my I put this up ahead of time. You can find Michele on Facebook. Did I get this right, Michele?
You did. Yes.
Okay. Yes. And just know it's Mingo's Corner, pardon me, in both Facebook and Instagram, but Instagram it's a little funnier. So watch that.
Yeah, Instagram, despite being owned by Facebook, won't let you use apostrophes in your name.
Yeah.
I mean, really?
Those funny social media people.
Yeah.
So yes, be sure to go on and follow Michele on either of her spots there. Pardon me. And anyone have any questions? Any kind of last minute questions for Michele? This was amazing, Michele. Thank you so much for sharing this with us, because I think it's so good to see that a studio space, it can be whatever. There's no there's no rules.
Oh yeah, and it used to be the corner of my bedroom.
Yeah.
but
Yeah. Well, that's how it starts, right? You're like, I have a
right.
box with a loom, and then I
Uh-huh.
have some storage with a loom, and then I
Yep.
have a room with a loom. And,
Yep. Yep.
that's, yeah. Yeah. It's exactly right.
Exactly. So
Exactly right.
and then it just kind of
Um,
finally we admitted we could have an entire room for this, but hence why we share it.
yeah.
So
Yeah, absolutely. Ramona jumped in and said, fantastic space for everything. Your Footlocker inspires me to store my wools and my grandma's cedar chest.
oh
Love
yeah.
that.
Oh yeah.
Love that. Yes,
When
yeah.
we opened my mom's
Um,
cedar chest, we found blankets we didn't even know she owned that had been stored in there, and they were almost pristine.
oh,
So yeah,
amazing.
wool
That's
blankets,
incredible.
like 100% wool. It was crazy. I don't know what she was saving them for. It was a hope chest, but I don't know
Yeah,
what she was hoping for because she'd been married 65 years when I looked into it after we moved. So I don't know.
yeah. That's incredible, though. Yes, yeah. Carrie in Spain says, I have a room with shelving which contains 760 pounds of stash yarn, many different fibers.
Okay, she's
Ex self-employed machine knitter. There we go. Yes, yeah.
yep,
Yeah, Ellen was
yep.
just saying such a lovely use of space. Yeah, I love
And
that.
we
I
try.
hope everyone enjoyed seeing that as much as I did. That was very good. All right, my friend, thank you so much for
Thank
spending
you.
time with us today.
Thank you.
And don't forget, Michele is the fabulous author of our rigid heddle instructions for the October Weave Along, and they're so well done. So if you want to do this weave along with the rigid heddle, we got you covered. So and she will be hanging out with us throughout the
Oh,
whole
yeah.
entire program. So if you have any kind of questions about doing shadow weave on a rigid heddle, she's your girl. She's gonna walk us through that, and we'll all figure it out together. Thank you so much, my friend. I appreciate
Oh, well,
this.
thank you. So it's been fun working on the rigid heddle pattern with you and the whole weave along. So, I mean, I wouldn't have missed it anyway. So I might as well just have a roll, right?
You might as well, right? Exactly. We're just gonna bring you along into the inner circle.
Yeah, there you go. You're like a vortex. You just kind of sweep us all up.
Pretty much. I like that comparison. I'll take it. I'll take
You're
it
the
for sure.
whirlwind.
All right, my
Yes,
friend.
exactly.
I'll talk to you
Thank
very,
you.
very soon.
All righty.
Thank you. Wasn't that awesome? She is just the coolest. Honestly, she is just it's been so wonderful getting to know her better. And honestly, she is brilliant with a rigid heddle loom and some instructions. So I hope you enjoyed that for sure. All right, my friends, let's finish up strong here. That was so sweet to have her join us and see her space. So this week on Handwoven Experience, we talk all about shadow weave. Seems pertinent, doesn't it? Yes. The episode this time around is 5 facts about shadow weave. Just so if you've never heard of it before, that you can kind of get familiar with this really interesting weave that we're going to explore for the whole month of October. So if you haven't seen that yet, go check out the Handwoven Experience episode for this week. And then if you're loving all the things and you would like to get a free copy of the instructions, of the 4-shaft instructions, join the Acting Creative Insiders. This is such a nice perk, and I love offering this every time we have a weave along, is that if you're at the boat shuttle tier and up, you get a free copy of the 4-shaft instructions as an Acting Creative Insider. So it's just a sweet little perk that I like to offer everyone. Plus, the timing is always great because tonight is our small group Zoom chat. So there's all kinds of wonderful reasons to become an Acting Creative Insider. Go check that out. And then lastly, if you aren't already getting the weekly love notes, every Wednesday I send you an email just to say hi and here's what's happening. Please take advantage of all the free stuff, all of the ways to participate in the community. Sign up for the weekly emails, aka the love notes. So, all right, my friends, boy, we did a lot today, didn't we? And you guys were you were amazing. Thank you so much for joining me and cheering on Michele as she did her fabulous tour. And okay, I think that'll do it for now. Here is what's happening next. Monday, the Facebook group will open for the October Weave Along. Next Thursday, I'll be right back here for more Live at the Loom. I am so excited just to be kind of, putting on the flag for the start of the October Weave Along. And next Thursday, we'll meet right back here. In the meantime, you know what your homework is for this week. Do something creative just for you, right? Start a project, finish a project, throw a shuttle, pet your yarn, whatever you got. Do a little something creative just for you this coming week, because it's all good for you, good for your soul. And mark your calendars. I'll meet you right back here next Thursday for more Live at the Loom. Thanks, you guys. You're amazing. Have a wonderful week, and happy weaving.